What's good, YouTube? This is Admin, and we're back for another OU battle, and today, people, we have a tutorial for you. When I say that, I mean this is what not to do. You've heard me say out of the first session with this team, I believe it went 8-2. You've seen one loss, here's the second, and what's irritating, people, is both those losses were highly preventable. I made some silly, noobish, ridiculous plays that cost me the entire match. I won't say cost me the match, because I could have always come back, but I made some misplays that put tremendous offensive pressure on myself and put the match very much in my opponent's hands. So I wouldn't call this a good battle. It's a good learning moment. It's something that I think in retrospect, when I watched this battle, I got swept in this battle, and honestly I think it was highly preventable. And so I wanted to share this battle with all of you. One, because I want you all to see like the genuine experience I have as a battler, all the wins, all the losses. I pretty much show you all everything unless I just brutally sweep someone and it's not fun to watch. I pretty much show every single battle. So this is the second loss out of that first 10 games this team had. And like I said, I think it was highly preventable. I am, of course, using the Mega Hero Cost Speed Control team. If you haven't seen the rest of the battles with this team where it does well, please check those out. If you go to the YouTube channel, on the homepage, there is a playlist for every tier. Just click OU, watch to your heart's content, watch all the battles with this team. If you want to see the team building video of this team, how I built it, why I use custom EV spreads, I encourage you to watch it. I think it'll make you a better team builder, and your feedback helps make me a better team builder. So check out those videos, link in description. Without further ado, let's go and get into the battle, though. My opponent obviously has a very interesting team, particularly with the Grumpig and the coffee table. Very interesting. Halucha a little weird as well. I have my fair share of odd pokes in this team. But we're going to go ahead and start the battle and we'll get right into the action. So remember, Rocket people, if you like this video, please leave a like. It really helps the channel out, helps the channel grow. Leave a comment. Leaving an insightful, thought-out, competitive comment can even get you points in the Rocket tier system. More info on the Rocket tier system down below. So here I lead with my Jolteon, who I'm going to change, I think. Originally, I thought Agility Baton Pass would be awesome, but I never ever use it. So I'm definitely going to change my Jolteon. I knew I couldn't do much as Grumpig, so I'm like, I have a chance, you might as well go into it. And here, I'm a complete and utter noodle. They go for Mirror Coat, and I don't predict the Magic Coat. This is why I use Creative Pokes, because I didn't see this coming. So my opponent bounces back the rocks on my side of the field. That's why I use Creative Pokemon. My team really doesn't care about rocks much at all. But I'm like, might as well go in the Skarmory. I don't think this thing can really touch me. Might as well go in the Skarmory and defog him away. So here my opponent was probably predicting a status or something. They go for a Reflect. I'm like, I honestly don't know why my opponent did that. It's painfully obvious I'm about to set up rock, or about to go for a defog, which I do. And here I'm like, all right, my opponent's probably gonna switch out or do something. So here they actually go for another Magic Coat. I don't know what my opponent's predicting, honestly. Like this Grumpig is not a threat to me at all. I go for a Tailwind. I'm like, all right, let's bring in something that's not scared of this Grumpig and go to work. So I decided to go ahead and bring in my Heracross, predicting them not to go for like a Psychic attack this turn. They actually go for the Power Gem, so I eat that up easily. I decided to go ahead and Mega and Pin Missile just because otherwise Pin Missile might not even kill, and I don't want to take a Psychic. So that's what I proceed to do. I go ahead and Mega. And go for this Pin Missile here. Obviously, there's not a lot of switch-ins. Like, nothing really wants to eat one of these up. So you see I only need 2 hits to actually take out the Grumpig. And that was a great turn for me. Here my opponent brings in, let's see, Halucha. This might have been a bit of a misplay, honestly. Because Tailwind is still up on my side of the field. It's very likely that my opponent could have Sky Attack or something crazy, so I get switching out. But Pin Missile could have been a decent option, depending on how much damage that does to Halucha. I could have gone for Close Combat, but then there's a Focus Sash was highly likely. Blood Seed was also resisted, so it's understandable going into Skarmory. I need to want to calc to see how much Pin Missile would have done to know if that was the right play or not. Here my opponent went for the Taunt. I just wanted this thing gone. Since it had gone for a Swords Dance, so I just went straight for my Brave Bird. Here my opponent does go for a high jump kick. Unfortunately, that is enough to take out the Skarmory. Nothing I could really do there. So unfortunately, the Skarmory goes down. I didn't really have anything I wanted to switch into that either, so I'll take it. Here my opponent goes into Diggersby, and I go into Jolteon. Obviously, I'm feeling a Scarf variant, so I switch into Meowstic. Obviously, I can get rid of the Scarf. And I doubt, and it will not OHKO me. But surprisingly, my opponent goes for a Swords Dance. I'm like, that's very, very bad news. And this is where the misplays begin to happen. I handle this Diggersby very poorly. So it's only at +2 right now. I go for a trick. I give it an Iron Ball. So now this thing is super, super slow. So it's got to rely on quick attack. Here, I needed to stay in and go for a Psychic. There was no reason not to. Nothing on my team can really OHKO this thing. Well, actually, Mega Heracross can. But why did I go into Chansey? Chansey can't touch this thing. He showed me Swords Dance. I went into a poke that he could set up all over. I should have stayed in with Meowstic and gone for a Psychic. Even if he killed Meowstic, he would have only been at +2. I could have gone into Mega Heracross, gotten the free close combat on anything on his team. That would have made a huge, huge difference. That's what I needed to do. But for some reason, I fought a Meowstic. Even though I had no reason to do that. The only other fast pokes he had were Haxorus and Greninja, both of whom I'm not scared of. So that was a tremendous misplay on my part. And the lesson to learn from this is never, ever let your opponent set up on you, which is what I just did. I'm letting this happen. And you'll see the other huge error I made is not going for the Psychic when I had the chance. Because this Diggersby is at full HP, look what happens. I go for a Flamethrower, and I don't kill. I go in the Heatran, because Heatran's the only thing that could live a quick attack at +6. Obviously, an Earthquake more than enough to take me out. So that was a tremendous misplay on my part. Had I got even a little damage on the Diggersby, it would have been dead right there. Even though my Mega Heracross is very bulky, it cannot take a +6 quick attack. And so it is basically a Mega. This Diggersby is going to sweep my whole team. And so the thing to learn is, as soon as I saw that Swords Dance, one, I needed to get damage off. I should have looked at Meowstic and gone, okay, I don't really need this anymore. Let me just get damage off or let him kill me and bring in something else. Because I would have kept offensive pressure on. He could have gone for a Swords Dance if he wanted to, but he still would have had enough damage where I could have gone in the Heatran and killed him. I took all the offensive pressure off by going in the Chansey, and I let him set up to +6. That was an example where I let that happen to myself. So again, I like to kind of post all my battles I think are at least watchable, because I feel like that's a level of honesty I have with all of you. And I want you to learn from my mistakes and my successes. So when you see this, I hope you learn. You know, that is how you handle a setup mon. That loss was entirely preventable. It was a complete error on my part. And that's why you rewatch your battles, because if you lose and you're like, oh man, I lost, and that's it, you'll never get better. But if you rewatch your battles, like now I know, next time I'm in that situation, I know what to do. So I'm hoping that by sharing my battles with you, you all can learn from my mistakes and learn from my successes. So to my opponent, Dallas, thank you for the battle. Hope you had fun. I hope you cherished that win. Well earned, Fred. Congrats on using a really weird team. I hope you can learn some things from this battle as well. But thank you all so much for watching. My name is Umbra. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a good one.